My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
We acknowledge the traditional owners of country throughout Australia and recognise their continuing connection to land, waters and culture. We pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Welcome to This Song Is Yours. We're a music podcast that chats to artists, musicians and creatives on their songwriting craft and upcoming releases. I'm your host Simon Fink and welcome to episode 232 of the podcast. Thanks for returning to our music-based pod, and if this is your first time, welcome. We've made the incredibly exciting announcement this week that we're going to be launching a new video series called This Song Is Yours for the Record, which will see us taking artists into record stores and asking what's a must-have for their collection. That is a series that will hopefully be premiering soon. Please keep an eye on our socials to stay up to date with all of that. You can find our social media in the show notes of this pod. Today's guest is Hope D. Hope is an indie pop singer and songwriter from Brisbane, Australia, and has been writing music for over the last 5 or 6 years. Her debut single, Swim, led her to be a finalist in the Billy Thorpe Scholarship, and since that time, Hope has gone on to win 2 Queensland Music Awards. Today, however, is a very exciting day as she's released her debut record, Clash of the Substance, today. This record is a coming-of-age soundtrack that details anxiety, substance use, heartbreak and everything else that kind of comes with being in your early 20s. The sonics of this record are incredible and it is definitely worth a listen. And it's a record I think that we'll see being quite popular come the ARIA season later in the year. In today's episode, we are speaking with Hope about the distinctive sonics of this record and her songwriting process. We're discussing what it's like touring the country with her friends, and we actually have a chat about whether we can expect any more songs related to breakfast items. Now, that one will only make sense if you've listened to the record or you're reading the track list for it, but it will make sense. Have a listen to the record after you have a listen to this episode. But please, it is a great record. We want to give a big shout out to both Suzy and Liv from Positive Feedback for their help with today's episode. But here we go. Here is our chat with Hope D. Please welcome to This Song Is Yours, Hope D. Hello.
Hello.
How are we today, Hope?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Happy to be here. Very excited.
We are very, very excited to have you here and thank you for being here. It is a very exciting time. It's the start of a new year, but more so than anything, and I think that this is exciting news for a lot of people. Your brand new debut record is out as of today, Clash of the Substance. Firstly, congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy that it's finally out.
I can imagine that release day for anyone is, it's one of excitement, maybe trepidation, a lot of feelings. For you leading up to this day, how's it kind of been going? I know that it was originally meant to be out, I think, late last year and it was delayed a little, but how are you feeling now that it's finally out in the public sphere?
Totally. I mean, it's been such a big build-up since, the initial date and, everything that's, happened to get to this point. But, yeah, to have it finally out, it's just, a big breath of relief, and I'm just, so excited that people finally get to hear it.
I know that there are quite a few people who are very excited to hear it as well. I think, when was it? With full we'll give a disclaimer to the listeners. We are recording this a little bit ahead of schedule, and that the Triple J Hottest 100 has just wrapped up voting, but I've seen numerous, I want to say numerous about 5 more times, people voting for Emerald or for Hope D tracks. So I know that there's a lot of excitement about the record that it is coming out. For you, because you've released EPs before this, how did you know it was time to kind of go forward with the debut record with the full length?
Yeah, well, it's been like a lot of years of writing songs for me, and I mean, I think for most musicians, by the time you actually release them, a lot of the time those songs have been written years and years ago. So even on the EP, like a lot of those songs were written 4 to 5 years ago, and now even Clash of the Substance, 4 to 5 years again. So like I'm like very keen to have these songs out, and then I can continue to write more songs for the next album, and hopefully the turnaround time becomes quicker so that they're more like real and present. But yeah, it was definitely time for an album because I just have so many songs to put together in this like collective piece of work. But they all go together really well. They're all like very related to each other and like around the same time period. So I'm glad that I could collect them all to release them in this album.
It is a beautiful piece of work. It's a very cohesive record. And I guess lastly, talking about the release, touching on just what you mentioned, the fact that some of these songs were written 4 or 5 years ago, do you still find that they resonate in the same way with you when you kind of listen to them now, getting ready to release it, that they have the same meaning or the same kind of feeling, or is it that they've taken on something different as that time's gone on?
Totally. A lot of them are really interesting. There's some of like the slower, like sadder songs on it that bring a new meaning when I play them now. Some things that I like didn't realize I was writing and that apply to me now, which is really cool. And some that are still fresh, or like some that are still relevant, and some that are just are going to be always fun to play, like Emerald and Hate Goodbyes. But when I do play them, I kind of try and like think about where I was when I wrote them, and that like has the meaning to it when I perform them. So yeah, they all have either new meanings, or it's fun to just like reflect on the meanings that they have when I wrote them.
I can imagine, yeah, that it is, if that feeling has changed, that it kind of allows you to put your own newer, or maybe something that's more apt for the current situation that you're in, or whatever it may be.
Totally.
One thing I loved about this record, Hope, was the sonics. I feel that in terms of like indie pop rock, and I know that those are very generic terms, and so I apologise, but in terms of music like that, the sonics of this record are incredible. I don't feel like there is anyone on Australian radio that currently sounds like Hope D.
That is very nice. Thank you so much.
Oh,
yeah, like
of course.
Yeah, I guess it was really good to like consistently record it with Aidan Hogg, and he brought like a lot of themes in it that kind of make it very consistent, which is really awesome. And yeah, like recording it in the same time, like we did it in blocks, so therefore like my emotions were the same that block, and like I guess everything was fresh, so I could just like continue making like my voice sound the same, I guess, and like that kind of thing. So yeah, this one's definitely themed. I can imagine like my next albums will sound different, and the ones after that will sound different again. But yeah, I did try to keep it with like that whole sarcastic, sad, Hope D theme for this one. Yeah.
Look, I think the record is all the better for that said theme. Totally. When you're in the studio, when you're writing, are you an artist or a songwriter who will kind of listen to other bands and other music that's going on, and not cherry pick, but like have that influence what you're doing, or are you someone who kind of likes to shut out and create your own soundscape, if you will?
Yeah, I definitely would like to do that. I kind of shut out for this one and like didn't really listen to too many things on the side, but Aidan had like really good reference tracks for certain tracks which worked really well, but I didn't like hone into too much research for it, for this piece of work. But like I would love to do that in future and like draw more inspiration, but for anything, like if anything, I tried to like with the little interlude tracks and stuff, that was like inspired by like Frank Ocean's Orange album, because he has like little tracks in between. But for my next albums, I want to make it like a massive experience as well, like have heaps of little interlude tracks and make it sound like you're I won't say the ideas that I have, but yeah, like I didn't draw too much inspiration from things around me, but like I guess that makes it what it is, and I'd like to do that in the future though, for sure.
100%. if you're willing to, are you able to share some of those references that Aidan worked from, or is that we'll respectfully, not put it?
Well, for Emerald, like the busy drums, he referenced the King Princess track. Can't remember which track it was though. And then I'd have to think a little bit more because it's kind of left me, but yeah, just like certain elements like busy drums or like certain sounds for percussion or like the whole dynamic and like storytelling of the song. There were specific references, but I'll definitely get back to you on that.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
When it came to the songwriting for this record, I know you said that you worked with Aidan with the Sonics. Was he a part of the lyric and melody writing as well, or is that something that you are very much you kind of managed yourself, I want to say?
A lot of the songs I did myself because I've been playing them for years, and especially because a lot of them were born from me with my loop pedal and my old setup, which was a lot of the time I wrote the songs that are on there at cover gigs where I'd just like play little tunes in between cover songs where like no one's listening, so I just got to be paid to practice basically. So like certain melodies and certain songs were made from that, and I would like structure it, and then it was just so locked in that nothing happened to them except for like Aidan's incredible production and like sonic ideas. But Muffin of the Day and Used to Be, Aidan helped out a lot with the songwriting, which was awesome because those were very fresh songs. We wrote Muffin of the Day together, and then Used to Be I was pretty stuck on some certain things, so he helped out a lot there, which I'm so grateful for.
Of course. There was, what was it? There's Muffin of the Day, there's Bagel Song as well. I'm curious, moving forward with Hope D, how many more, or I guess how many tracks we might see relating to baked goods or breakfast adjacent food?
I hope a whole entire album consistently, the whole thing. A lot.
In terms of concept records, it would go quite well. So I think that we're definitely onto something there.
For sure.
One of my favourite tracks, if you'll allow me to, I would love to talk about Safety Nets, which it takes a bit of a quieter turn for yourself, and I was just wondering, compared to the rest of the songs on the album, for you, is that I guess it's a territory that you'd like to look at continuing doing further, or does it help having that balance of kind of fun party music and then the quieter side as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I love the quieter, more acoustic songs. That's pretty much like how I started getting into music, listening to like Ed Sheeran and Hosier, like so many of Ed Sheeran songs, like back when I was listening to him when I was younger at the time, like just him singing, and that's like a massive inspiration for me. So having at least like one song on the album like that, I thought worked really well. But also that song's like very sentimental to me, and I didn't want to like attack it too much with like more sonic and like percussion or anything like that. I didn't think it needed it. And since like everything else on the album is pretty busy, it worked really well to tie it all together, I think. But yeah, I would love to do more acoustic things and at least like release acoustic versions of my songs. Like that's something that I love to do. So hopefully, definitely.
That's awesome. I think that, I would personally, I can't speak for anyone else, but I would love to hear that. I think that would go very well. With what you just mentioned in terms of when you got into music and listening to Ed Sheeran, do you remember, I guess, your first interaction with wanting to write music and then the subsequent trying to write your first song and how that went?
Totally. I mean, I was writing little rhymes and things when I was like pretty young, like probably wasn't even at school yet, but like very silly ones, but it came pretty naturally to me. But then when I got older and started to write more serious ones that like kind of meant something to me, that's when I kind of got into music. Like I remember once I was passing like the kitchen and MTV was on, I think, and the music video for 18 was on, and that's when I got into Ed Sheeran. So like I wasn't listening to him before he like, I think he kind of blew up with 18 if I'm correct. But that's when I first heard him, but then I like backtracked and went into his massive back catalogs, and he had put out a lot of music, or at least like just YouTube videos, and that inspired me to start writing songs like that. Like heaps of love songs he has, just so many songs about his feelings. So that's kind of what got me into that. But I kept it pretty quiet. I didn't feel comfortable releasing any of those songs or like putting them out to my friends or family or anything like that for a very long time. So it wasn't until I was in grade 10, I think, is when I started recording songs on Audacity on my laptop, which is like a very basic recording software. And I had no idea what I was doing. The mixing is terrible. Like, you couldn't pay me to listen to them again because my body would hurt too much from cringing, I think. But that's how I first got into it. And it was great practice, and it was really good to like start somewhere like that. But yeah, that's kind of when I started doing it. It was a bit of a process of like doing it for fun and then realizing, oh, I actually feel really good when I do this, and then turning it into something that might feel good for someone else to listen to, not as offensive, you know, to the ears.
Of course. I would love to know as well, because
this summer, Instacart presents famous summer flavors coming to your front door, or pool, or hotel.
Your grocery delivery has arrived, sir.
That was faster than room service.
No violins in the lobby.
Oh, seriously? Anyway, sit back, relax, and get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes. Starring your favorite snacks, drinks, and more. Download Instacart for free delivery on your first 3 orders. Rated H for hungry audiences. Offer valid for a limited time. Minimum $10 per order. Excludes restaurants. Additional terms and fees apply.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
there is, and this is no disrespect to Mr. Sheeran, there is, I would say, a bit more of an honesty or personality to your songs, Hope, that there,
Thank you.
I think, and I guess some of the subject matter, this record is called Clash of the Substance, and this, the subject matter in the record seems to be dealing with young love. It seems to be dealing with like the use of substances. It seems to be dealing with a range of things. When you were songwriting, and I guess still at a young age, how did you work out what you wanted to say and the ability to be honest in your songwriting without, being just spilling your guts completely, I guess?
Yeah, definitely. I think it was such a process. Like, I kept, back to the very beginning when I started releasing songs, at least like coming to terms with being gay. Like, I went to an all-girls private school, and it wasn't very creative either. So not only like wanting to express myself with music, but to express myself with like vulnerable topics like that were very unspoken about or like kind of slightly frowned upon. I kept that quiet for a really long time. And then I would replace like pronouns in my songs with he and him instead of she and her. So that was a big process to do. But when I first got comfortable with that was pretty much when I was in uni, so like out of school. And then that was like the first like vulnerable part of my lyric writing, of like talking about not only like love, but like my love and like my relationships and stuff, like being more specific with that. And it was a very slow process, but the more I released, the more kind of like of a reaction I got from people. And I could tell that people actually really appreciated the honesty. And if anything, like hopefully it was helping them be honest, or like hoping that they would feel less alone in like how they were feeling. And so like I started to dabble with it a lot more and like, talk about, abusing alcohol as a younger young adult, and like as most people do, like I feel like when you are able to drink legally, and also coming to terms with like feelings and whatnot and like the world, and then drugs and like gambling and like everything that like is not so naturally spoken about, it's very therapeutic for me to put into a song. And the safety I have in releasing that vulnerability in hopes that people will like feel the same or relate or just like enjoy it is just like the reason that I do it, even though it's very scary. So the more that I do it, the easier it is, I guess. But it is a bit of a scary thing, because sometimes you fear that no one will relate and or like feel anything from it. But, you know, that's what the process is, I guess.
No, of course. I can definitely understand and appreciate that fear. And I think even as a gentleman who's maybe in his early to mid-30s, and my early 20s were a while behind me, I think that there's even stuff on this record that I could resonate with in terms of kind of what you said in being young, being able to legally drink, friends, relationships, the creation, deterioration of both of those, and drugs, everything else. I feel like it is a coming of age record, which I think is, again, I can only speak for myself at this point, but it did seem to resonate in certain parts of my, I'd say, memory, and in terms of little parts of nostalgia. Have you, before you just mentioned that like you were doing it in the hope that it would help people and that people would be able to resonate with this, has the feedback so far, I guess, been positive? Has it resonated with people the way that you've wanted it to?
Absolutely. And firstly, thank you for your feedback. That means a lot to me too. Like, I'm so glad that things can relate to you as well. But yeah, like I remember like releasing Swim, which was the first song that I released under Hope D. And it was very scary because it was just a straight up song about me being gay and like coming out. That's kind of how I came out to a lot of people and even like family and stuff. So that was scary. But the messages that I even still get from just that song are just like insane. Like I even got some the other week just saying that it helped them come out to their families and like feel more comfortable and less alone. So I'm so stoked that that kind of thing is still happening, because that's genuinely why I do what I do, is to get that kind of just to help change people's lives like that, like even in the slightest, or just if they like the sound of the song, then that's enough for me too, you know? So it's really humbling and like, yeah, the reason that I do it.
That's awesome. And that's lovely. And I think I'm sure that you'll continue to get messages like that. I'm sure that post this podcast episode, it's not going to end. I'm sure people are going to continue to resonate with that. On top of this album release, Hope, you are also going to tour this record in March around the country, which I think is very exciting. I know there's a lot of people who are excited to see you kind of getting back out there and playing some shows. How are you feeling about touring the record?
I'm so excited. It's going to be a completely different setup and sound and literally everything than I've ever played live before, because we're going down from 5 members to 4 members, and we're getting tracks so you can actually hear things that are in the album, like, you know, bong rips in the Cyclone song and like the laughs in Muffin of the Day and stuff like that. So I'm really keen to like bring a more theatrical sense to it, and there's and like more of an acting thing, or like just getting more into it with like the sounds. They're going to just like help so much with that. So I'm really excited for that. And I'm just so keen to visit all my favorite places and to play this album, like pretty much. Like I'm so excited for people to have the songs on their phone that they've been hearing me play for so long. I'm so excited for that to be finally happening. Like, because I've been playing a lot of these songs for a while now, and for people to actually be able to listen to them before or after is going to be a very different experience. And I'm so excited for it.
It is. Well, I know that there are people who are very excited as well. When you're, I guess, as you said, you're shaking up the live lineup. You're adding the what is it called? The pad.
Yeah, like the SPD, the tracks. Yeah.
Yes. I guess when you've been previously playing the songs in a certain way, and now you're downsizing, you're changing things up. How does that, I guess, affect how you're playing it in terms of? I guess, does it affect when you're playing the songs? Does it kind of play into that at all, or is it something that you kind of just, it's a free-flowing piece of music? I don't know if I explained that well.
No, you definitely did. It's honestly so different, and it's so interesting to get used to, because I've never done anything like it before, and a lot of people do it. Heaps of people do it, and it's definitely something to get used to. But it's so different because, you know, we're taking out a human and adding a robot. You know what I mean? So I feel like a bit of a robot too. And you gotta, and the thing is about tracks is that I'm finding is that, you know, it's perfect. Like the metronome is not wrong. It's like, it's perfectly in time. So we're going to be hopefully perfectly in time. And therefore it feels a bit more robotic, but it will bring more of like a show, I guess. And like, it's a bit harder to be more authentic, but at the same time, we'll make sure that it is still extremely authentic and fun. But yeah, it's just that. It's like, it's kind of, once I do get more used to it too, because we're so fresh into rehearsing with it, it will be a lot more fun and more genuine and whatnot. But it does feel fairly synthetic at the moment. But it's a process for sure. It's gonna be really cool. But that's how I feel about it at this point in time.
I can very much appreciate that. We're going to be seeing you in Adelaide when you come to visit, so that's very exciting. Is there a track from the record right now, as of when we're recording, so that might change by the time you get to touring? Is there a track you're most excited for people to see live or to perform live for people?
Yes, I think there's a couple, but performance-wise, Cyclone will be really fun, I think. We're going to add some fun things into that, so that will be cool. And hopefully Muffin of the Day, because of the energy, and I just get to sing on that. So we'll see how that goes though. It's a work in progress. And then Doormat for sure, because that's just like my favorite song on the album. I'm really keen to play that live for people, because that's the one that I feel most about, because it's the most recently written song by the time that the album comes out. Everything else is years older, but this one's only 1 year old. Doormat's only a year old. So like that one means the most to me, so therefore I feel most excited to play it at this point in time. But yeah, those are the ones I'm most keen for right now.
Very good, very great selection. Sorry, Doormat is one of my other favorite tracks on the record. So yeah, very much looking forward to seeing that. Hope, I was wondering if you would share with us. Usually we'd ask, I guess, what they're currently listening to. If there's anything at the moment that is on high rotation for yourself.
Totally. Oh man, I always forget unless I get my Spotify up. But I've been listening to a lot of Felly Van's album, who's a friend in Brisbane, and her album came out last year, Ties, and I kind of repeat that a lot most of the time actually. But other than that, I've been listening to a bit of. I always listen to Remy Wolf like all the time. I'm so obsessed with Remy Wolf, and I'd love to make music like her one day. And other than that I've just been adding little songs to my little playlist. But I kind of listen to a lot of friends, because I get to tour with a lot of bands that I'm such big fans of, and then we get to meet, and then I get to listen to them and know them as well, which is really cool. So whenever they release new songs, I just add them to my playlist and listen to them. So like Maya and Dulcie and Just Day, a lot of local people. But if not them, then Remy Wolf and Felly Van are just constantly on repeat.
Very solid picks. Very quickly, just touching on what you just mentioned in terms of friends bands. I think it was, and please correct me if I'm wrong, was it the Dandies who they're going on tour with you? They were also in the video for Emerald.
Yeah. Awesome pick. Yes.
Oh, thank you. When it comes to, I guess, getting your friends and getting other artists that you're close with involved in projects, how do you kind of go about, I guess, picking and choosing who's appropriate to have on a project, whether it's a video, whether it's a collaboration in terms of a duet or a song like that?
Totally. It's definitely what I feel like would be best, like comfortability-wise, because like then the best things happen when it's like a creative process. If you're comfortable with that person and those people, then you'll get the best things out of it. So for Emerald, like having Mads from the Dandies and Aisling from Dizzy Days, and my friend Jade and Amelia, who is the actress in Emeralds, the girl that I'm interested in that video. We only met that day, but now we're really good friends, so which is really cool. But that's what works best creatively wise. Like having your mates and like friends that you would just hang out with anyway, and then doing fun things like that with them. Yeah, for sure. That helps so much. But interestingly enough, Amelia and I are doing another project together, which will be out sometime later this coming time. And that will be really awesome because now we've developed a relationship. So having that like friendship will, make this even better. And creativity will be through the damn roof.
Well, we very much look forward to that project, whatever it may be, at whatever time it is released or revealed to the public. So I can respect the secrecy for now. Hope, thank you so much for coming onto the podcast. I do appreciate it. And congratulations on Clash of the Substance, which is out today.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed that. I really appreciate your time too. Thank you.
This podcast is brought to you by eHarmony, the dating app to find someone you can be yourself with. Why doesn't eHarmony allow copy and paste in first messages? Because you are unique, and your conversations should reflect that. eHarmony wants you to find someone who will get you. How are you going to know who gets you? If people send you the same generic conversation starters they message everyone else. Conversations that actually help you get to know each other. Imagine that. Get who gets you on eHarmony. Sign up today.